Hello everyone. So I hope the audio and the video is coming correct. Okay. So I welcome you to the stream for today, and we'll be solving some problems. Basically the MCQ problems, but I'll be giving them to you as a functions, and you need to guess the output for those questions. Okay. And before we start, I need you to comment in the comment section whether I'm audible or not, so that we can start with today's session. I hope the audio and video quality is up to the mark. So to begin with today's session, we'll wait for 1-2 minutes and then we're going to start, because we'll wait for some people to join and then we'll be starting. Okay, so give us only 1 minute. So we can start now. Okay, to begin with, I would like to give you information about this course page. This is practice page. Basically the link for this is given in the description. Just go and check. And I just wanted to give you tour about this. Okay, so we have two things. We have live courses, we have online courses. So when you click on the live courses here, you have the live courses which is happening live, and you can just go through it. We have Android development which is going on, computer programming which is going on, then we have Java app development, system design, Java backend. All these things are happening. Okay, so please go and look into that. And talking about the online courses which is available here, so you have, this is pre-recorded videos and explanation for each and every topic is covered. So you can see we have complete interview preparation with doubt assistance. Okay, that costs you about 8999. And then we have without doubt assistance. Okay, then we have DSA self-paced, and we have DSA self-paced with doubt assistance. Okay, so these are the famous online courses which are available. And we have others specific. For example, if you want to learn C language, then you can have C get started with C. We have C++ foundation also. Okay, and I have some important announcements to make at the end of the session, so please watch till the end so that I can give you that. And we have also Java foundation, machine learning. Those who are interested in machine learning can also go for machine learning basic level course which is available here. We have data structures with Python which is available here. Okay, so just go through this and you will be getting more and more information about this. And we also have free courses which is available. Okay, just do go and check all of them so that you can get the better idea for this. Okay, so we have Python, C++, productivity hacks is also there, in which you have various types of C++ tricks which is available. Okay, so basically for solving any problem you need a specific type of tricks for that question. So we have discussed in C++ productivity hacks, so just go and check that out. Okay, so that is all about this. Now we can start with today's session. And the first question is available to you on the screen now. Okay, so I hope the screen is visible to you. Okay, I'm just going to open a pick pen and then we are going to start. Okay, so here is the first question. The question is very simple, and we have the function name as getMin. We have array, we have integer n, and then we have this variable, and we have for loop. Okay, and we are returning. And from main function, in main function in int main function, what do you have? You have this array. Okay, you are just passing this array. Okay, get mean you are passing this array there and the size. Okay, size is n. So you need to tell me what will the output for this. Suppose the input is something like 1 minus 2, 3 minus 4 and 5. Okay, you need to tell me what will the output for this question. Can you tell me what will the output for this question? I'm waiting for the response. So here it was the code. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to write that string into bit slash stdc plus plus dot h. Then you have using namespace standard. Then we have something as int main, and in that we are just declaring our array. Okay, I'm just going to call this array, and I'm going to give the values like 1 minus 2, 3 minus 4 and 5. Okay, so that is the values. Now what we are going to do, we have this function, right? I'm just going to call that as main, and in this we have int array. Okay, and then we have int n. Okay, and from main what we are going to do, we are going to just call this with the value array, and we can get the size from here. Okay, so the size can be something like int n. So I can just say size equals to size of array divided by size of array 0 element. Okay, and now I'm just going to pass that there, right? So in this I'm just going to pass the size. Okay, and in this function, what was our basic thing? We have this for loop, and it will start from 0, it will go up to n, it will be incremented by this, and we have something, we can make this function as int so that we can return, and here we can just see out. Okay, and here we have int answer equals to array of 0, and then we have something as answer equals to minimum of answer comma array of I. Okay, so that is the output. Now at the end of this, what we are going to do, we are going to return whatever the value is there at the answer. Okay, so I hope that was the question which was asked. Now we can just increment the size and we can try to run the code. Okay, so there is some error. Let me just check if I have missed something there. Let me check. Expected. Okay, here it should be semicolon. Okay, so the output which we are getting is -4. Okay, so the output which we are getting is -4. Now let us discuss some important notes that we can make from this function. Although this function is very simple, okay, but we are not looking into the logic part. We are looking into the problems or the lessons which we can get from this problem. Okay, so first thing. So here we have array. We have declared something like int array. Okay, and we have given the values as 1 minus 1. Okay, the values are 1 minus 2 3 minus 4 minus 5. Okay, now the size we have did something like this. The size of, first we have declared the size of array. The size of array will give you the whole size of this array. When you divide the size of this first only one element, then you will be getting the total size of the array. Okay, so suppose just let me just show you something here. Okay, suppose I am giving this thing cout size of n. Okay, and here I am declaring n as integer and I am just giving that. Okay, now when I try to run this code, I will be semicolon here, and when I try to run this code, you can see we are getting 4 and minus 4. Okay, now when I suppose I am giving something like this array, and now when I try to run this code, you can see I am getting 20. So for this size of array I am getting 20 divided by size of array of 0 element. Okay, even I can do something like this. Okay, when I try to run this code, you can see the value which I will be getting is 4. It is nothing but divided by 4, and when we do this operation we will be getting 5. Okay, so that is the concept here. Okay, so here was the explanation part, and we can just remove this, and this 5 is this is stored in the size, and we are calling this function which is get minimum. Okay, and we have array and then size. Okay, and this size is taken here in 10. Okay, let us now talk about this function. Now first thing we need to make notice here in this case is that along with the array, what we are doing, we are also passing the size. Okay, but in case of vector, suppose we are declaring that in a vector, so how we can do that? So I'll be explaining this part, and then I'll be talking about the vectors here. So here you can see we have answer as array of 0. Okay, we have answer 0. It means the first in answer the value which is stored is 1. Okay, now what we are doing, we are running our loop I equals to 0, I less than n, I plus plus, then we are storing the minimum value. Okay, in answer we will be storing the minimum value. So first 1 will be compared with the 1 only, so minimum of 1 comma 1 is 1 only. Then we have something like 1 and minus 2, this both will be compared. Okay, and the minimum will be stored to the answer. So in this case the answer will be changed to minus 2. Okay, then minus 2 and 3 will be compared, so the answer will be changed, or basically it remains same as minus 2. Then minus 2 and minus 4 will be compared, then the answer will be changed to minus 4. Then minus 4 and 5 will be compared, so the answer will be minus 4 only. So at the end we can get the answer as minus 4, and when we get the answer here we will be just returning it, and once it is returned we are going to just print the value which is minus 4. Okay, which is minus 4 in this case. Now the important thing to notice in this problem is that in vector, in this array, when we are passing, what is passed in the function, the thing which is passed in this function is the base address for this array. Okay, so base address will be passed in this function. Suppose I am doing something like, let us try to do something like array plus 3. Okay, 0 1 2, I am going to do 0 plus 2. Okay, now let us try to run this code and see the output for this question. Okay, so get minimum array of 2, and then actually that is the size which we need to get. So I can say I'm just going to pass that as 3. Okay, now let us try to run this code. So we'll be getting -2. Okay, we have only passed the values up to this one only, 3, 0, 1 and 2, and so this is only the values which we have passed. Okay, 1 minus 2 3. Okay, so this is only the value which we have passed. Suppose we don't want this size to be passed in this function. In that case, what we can do, we can declare this as a vector and then we can pass that function. So how we can do that? So first we'll be declaring something like vector, and then we have something like int, then v, and then we can declare something like this. Okay, and we do not need this. We can simply pass this v here, and even we do not need this. Okay, so when we pass this here, we'll be fetching that here, and we will be calling that as vector int of v. Then what we are going to do, we are going to get that as v dot size, and here we can declare the answer as v of 0. Okay, so that is all what we want, and here we need to change that as v of 5. And now when we try to run this code, we'll be getting the same output, which is -4 for this case. Now in this question, what you can see the difference here is we actually did not pass the size for this vector. We only pass the vector, and then we use this v dot size function for getting the size of the vector. Okay, so in this case you can see the vector size was 5, so that is fetched here. Okay, v dot size, and then we are just running that thing here. Okay, so that is the learning from this question. Now let us move to the next part, or next code, or next question basically. So let us move. So here I hope you can see. So here is the same question, but instead of minimum, what we are doing, we are getting the maximum. Okay, instead of putting the minimum here, we are just putting the maximum here in this case. Okay, so how we can do that? So what will be the thing which we need to make sure that we are using that? So our question was something like 1, -2, 3, -4 and 5. In this question, the first it will be resultant will be stored as something as this one. Okay, then it will be compared with -2, -3, -4, -5. So you can see the value which will be getting is 5, because 5 is the maximum for all of the values. Okay, so let us try to write that. So I hope it's visible. Now we can do, instead of just writing minimum, what we can do is we can write maximum here. Okay, and when we try to run this code, we'll be getting the value as 5 here. Okay, which is correct as discussed. Okay, so that is the thing which you need to make sure that you do not get this thing wrong. Okay, we have max here, so we'll be getting the maximum. Okay, but instead of putting this one array, we have passed this as a vector. Okay, and sometimes you can also note that we can also pass this as ampersand. Okay, and you can do something like const. It is also a good thing to do. Now let us try to run this code, and you can see we'll be getting the same output. Now we have added these two things, right? We have added these two things. First is const, second is ampersand. So I'm going to explain what happens when you try to run this code. Okay, so basically in a vector you can see we have this vector. Okay, I'm assuming this as a box. Okay, and we have some values in this. Now whenever this box is passed into this function, okay, so I'm assuming this as a function. Okay, I'm assuming this as a function, this whole thing as a function, and this is a vector which is having some values. Now whenever I am passing this into this function, okay, so what happens if I am not including the ampersand, something like this, then what happens, a new copy for this vector will be created. Okay, So new copy for the vector will be created and the program will execute on that. Okay, so any changes will be made to that will not reflect to our main vector. Okay, whenever we are not using ampersand. But in case of ampersand, what happens is whenever we are calling that in ampersand field, basically adding ampersand here makes a lot of difference. So how it will make a difference? So you can see whenever we are calling this vector in this function, so it will not create a copy. It will take this whole thing into a function, and any changes will be reflected in the vector. Okay, so that is the main difference between using ampersand and not using ampersand. And talking about the constant, basically you can see we have constant here. So constant makes sure that we are not editing anything. Okay, what I mean to say is, suppose now we have vi, right? Suppose I am putting element something like v of I equals to I. Now when I try to run this code, you can see we'll be getting error. So you can see we are getting error because we cannot assign anything to the value. Okay, because we have constant there. Suppose I am removing that constant from here, and when I try to run this code, you can see we are getting the value as 4 here and we are not getting any error. So but this question is wrong. Okay, but this question becomes wrong. So how it becomes wrong? Basically we have values like 1 minus 2 3 minus 4 minus 5, but the indexes are something like this, and here we are updating v of 0 is 0, v of 1 is 1, v of 2 is 2, v of 3 is 3, v of 4 is 4. Now you can see this 4 is maximum of all of them. Okay, so that's why 4 is printed here. Okay, which is incorrect. So that's why in order to avoid such mistakes, what is recommended here is whenever you are passing the vector into function, you always include constant. Okay, so I hope this was clear to all of you. You can comment if you have any doubt regarding this, or we'll move to the next question for today. Okay, so let us try to run this code, and the output which we are getting is 5 if we remove this. Okay, and try to run this code. So you can see with the value which we are getting is 5. Now let us move to the next question for today, which is third question. Now this is the function, its name is fun, who is accepting an array. We have start index and we have end index, and we are doing some operation. You need to tell me what is happening here in this case. Okay, you need to tell me what is happening in this case. So the example which we can take for this problem is 1 2, or I can remove this and I can simply use other colors so that is visible. So our values like 1 2 3 4 5. This is input. Now what will be the output for this question when we try to run this code? So if you are watching, please try to comment or try to answer anything in the question in the comment section. So we have 1 2 3 4 and 5. We have start index, we have end index. The start index is pointing to the array of 0. Indexes are something like this. And we have an index pointing to here. Okay, the structure is telling it's reversing. Okay, the value which we'll be getting when we try to run this is code is 5 4 3 2 1. Okay, which is correct. So here you can see we are just using this swap function. This is basically swapping. So this will be swapped with this, 5 will become here, 2 will be keep coming here, and start will be increased, so start will be pointing here, end will be decreased, so end will be decreasing here. Now again this whole thing will be swapped, so we'll be getting 5 4 3 2 1, start will be pointing here, end will be pointing here. The condition which will be false as we got the value. Suppose the values were something 1 2 3 4. Then we try to run this code. You can see we have start here, we have end here, so both will be swapped. Okay, now again start will be here, end will be here, then again they will be swapped each other, then the end will be coming here, which means it is crossing the start. So in the next it will be not getting into this condition, and the execution will be stopping. Okay, so that is the thing. Now let us try to implement this part in our code. So I hope it is visible to all of you. Now what we are going to do, we are going to use this function only, which means we are using this vector. I hope all of you are clear with the vector. Anyone who is facing difficulties in understanding the vectors concept, please write in the comments so that I can explain. Now you can see I am just going to call this function as reverse, and I am going to write the function for reverse here. Okay, so I am just going to make that as reverse. Okay, and we can see this, I can see this is void, and I can just get it from here. Now I am passing this vector v here, and I don't need this. I'm going to pass extra parameters. First will be 0, which is nothing but starting index, and the value index 4. Okay, so here you can see we are extra passing the value something as int left, or you can say I can get a st int n. Okay, now the condition check which I'm going to do here in this case is while left is less than right, then we are going to run this code. Or instead of left, we can give start, we can give it index. See, we have start here, event here. Okay, so here you can see we are going to check the condition here. So here you can see the thing which we are going to do. We are going to swap. Okay, we can directly use the swap function which is available in the C++, or you can do what you can do the normal way which we did. Okay, so we have start and then we have end. Okay, so that thing you can do, and then what you can do is you can increase the starting point and you can decrease the ending point. Okay, so here you want to return. So here you can see we have did the swapping part, and now let us try to run this code. Okay, so when we try to run this code, and as the changes has been reflected, now what we can do, we can simply try to print the content for the vector, and the output which we are expecting. Okay, when we try to run this code, let us try to run this code, and we have some errors. Let us check that errors. So the error which we are getting is this one, no matching function swap. Okay, so for that, what we're going to do, we can directly use the swap function, which is showing some error. Okay, let me just check what is the error. Okay, okay, so here what we're going to do, we're going to use this in temp equals to b of start, then we have b of start equals to v of end, v of end equals to v of start. Let us try to run this code. So this basically should be temp. Okay, so again some errors. Let me just check why it is showing error. What we can do is we can remove this. Okay, now when we try to run this code, then we'll be getting correct answer. Okay, because constant was not allowing us to update the values, so that's why it was showing error. So what we can do is, instead of doing that, what we can do is just using the swap variable, let's try whether it is coming correct for this or not. Okay, you can see we are getting the correct answer for this as well. Okay, so I hope you are getting the point which I am trying to make here is, so basically constant was removed. If we are not removing the constant from the argument part, then it is not allowing us to swap, because swapping means we are changing the order or changing the element in the original vector, so that is not allowed actually. So that's why we are using this normal function, swap function. Okay, so that's why it is not allowing swap function to do the part. Okay, we start v of n. Okay, now let us try to do the next part for this question. Here is the question which we solved. Now the next question here in this case is finding the frequency. Okay, let us see what is the output for this when I try to run this code. This is basically simple. I just included this so that others can get the idea for this type of problems. Okay, so basically what happens in this case is, instead of passing array we can use vector also, no issue in that. So here we are passing the array, we have int n, okay, and x. Int n is the size for this array and x is the value which we want to find. So in this case what we are doing, we are finding the frequency of x in this array. Suppose the element are something like this and we want the frequencies for x equals to 2, then the output which we will be getting is 2. As it is going to run in this loop and it is going to check this is not true, this is true, count will be increased, this is not true, this is true, count will be increased to 2, then it is not equals to, so it will be just returning the count from here. Okay, so that is the basic concept here in this problem. Okay, so I hope that is clear to all of you. Let us move to the next question. So this is the question which was explained yesterday also. So I just included so that others can also get the hack of this. So basically this problem is related to the recursion. Okay, now we need to guess the output for this question when we try to give the input for the values as 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the guys who are watching, please tell me what is the output for this question when we pass int n is equals to 1, 2, 3 in the function. Can you guess the output for this question when we try to run the code? So here you can see whatever we are passing in this function 1, 2, 3, then the value will be checked. Okay, the value will be checked, it is less than 10, no it is not less than 10. So it will be making a recursive call for the value 1, 2. Then again the 1, 2 will be checked with the 10. Okay, it is not less than, it is greater than 10. So again the recursive call will be made for 1. Okay, now recursive call for 1 means it is going to get into this, it will be returning the value n. N means the value is 1. Now in this part again it is going to include the value 2. Okay, because we are taking modulus, and this both will be added. Now in this pulse also what was remaining, this part was remaining, n modulus 10. The value which we will be getting is 3. Okay, so basically the addition will be happening for all of the value and we will be getting the output as 6. Okay, so let us try to run this code on Sublime and then we'll be ending the stream here. Okay, so I hope it's visible. Now instead of void, what I'm going to do, I'm going to change the name as fun. Okay, and I'm just going to pass a single integer, so that's why I'm going to remove this all things and I'm going to write int n. Okay, and we can tell that as integer as it is returning, and we can try to get rid of this and this as well. We have int n equals to 1, 2, 3. We have cout fun of and cout fun of n. Okay, now in this part what we are going to do, we are going to check the base condition. What is the base condition? If n is less than 10, then we are going to return. And okay, in else part what we are going to return, we are going to return so we don't need else part, actually we can directly say return, and first thing will be recursive call for n by 10 plus what we are doing some operation which is n modulus 10. Okay, so let us try to print this value, and the output which you can see is nothing but 6. So let us try to run this for 4, which we are getting as 10 as the output in this case. So that is it for the stream for today. I hope you have understood the concept here which I try to explain. So we'll be meeting tomorrow same place same time, and the important announcement which I was to make is that we are going to start with the CPP foundation skills. So those people who are wanted to learn C++ from very scratch, will be starting that from Monday. But we have introduction stream which will be happening on this Friday. Okay, so everything will be updated on the community, so please stay updated. Okay, please stay updated for that, and we'll be starting with that session. Okay, we'll be covering all the basics, okay, in that session, and plus we'll be getting more information in the next stream. Okay, so thank you for watching guys, we'll meet in the next stream.